So we're going to continue with your iReady math instruction, 8th grade. We're going to work on page 28 and 29 and from your lesson 3B that was going to start this Monday is an introduction. Solve problems with rational numbers. Use what we know. In this case, you know how to perform operations with fractions. Take a look at this problem. So we have an application. Each morning, a baker uses 22 and 3/4 cups of flour from a container. Each afternoon, she adds 12 and 1/4 cups of flour to the container. By how much has the volume of the flour in the container changed after 1 week? So let's answer the following questions. So use the math you already know to solve the problem. So in this case, remember, you have a container and the volume is the flour that container has. And the baker every morning takes 22 and 3/4 cups of flour. And then at the end of the day, she puts a little bit more. And we're going to analyze what's going on with that container. So complete the table. Write the change in flour volume each morning and afternoon. So I have change in flour volume each morning, number of cups. So in this case, what we're going to do is every morning she takes 22 and 3/4 of flour, but she's taking it from the container. So she's taking it, that means this one is negative. Also, the change in flour volume each afternoon. Every afternoon she puts flour in the container, so it's positive 12 and 1/4 of cups. Now, what we're going to do now, answer B. Will the change in volume after 1 week be positive or negative? Explain, how do you know? Remember that every time we're going to explain, we're going to give a reason why it's happening. So in this case, what we're going to do, I'm going to move my camera here a little bit. Let's see if I can get this one. Yes. So with more cups in this case, we know because it's 22 against 12. So more cups of flour are used each day and in this case Dana are added. Okay, so more cups of flour are used each day than are added. Now, so there is a negative change in volume each day. That means the change in volume after 1 week will also be negative. Okay, so if we're taking more flour than we are putting, at the end we're going to end up with negative amount of flour. Now, for C, write an equation to show the change in volume for 1 day. And in this case, for 1 day, she takes 22 and 3/4 of the flours, and then she adds 12 and 1/4. We can add those numbers. So you have negative 22 plus 12 is equals to negative 10, and then you have 3/4 and 1/4 is equals to 1/2. Where is that 1/2 coming from? Okay, so we do 3/4 in this negative plus 1/4 is equals to negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2, and 4 is the same, and we simplify, so we end up with negative 1 half, and that's 1/2 here. Negative 10 and 1/2, that's the solution. Now, write an equation to show the change in volume for 1 week. How many days in 1 week? We have 7 days, 7 days in 1 week, and then we multiply for the negative change, 10 and 1/2. Now, I'm going to multiply those numbers. So I'm going to change here in this case, 7 times, and look at this one, 10 and 1/2 is equals to 10 times 2 is 20 plus 1 is 21/2. So 7 times 21/2 negative equals to negative. 7 times 21 is equals to 147/2. Now we need to change that number, in this case to mixed fraction. So I'm going to have 2 divided by 147. So I have 14. So if I multiply 7 times 2 is 14. So it's 0, drop 7. 3 times 2 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. That's the remainder. So what is the mixed fraction? Is 73 and 1/2. And that's the solution for that problem. See how we use simple math from previous years to solve those problems. So let's move to page 29. So we're going to figure out more. So in this case, performing arithmetic operations with rational numbers such as fractions and decimals can sometimes be difficult to visualize. Using a model such as number line can help you understand the problem. So judge the reasonableness of an answer and think about whether the answer will be positive, negative, or 0. So in this case, we have the following operation. We know the solution already. It represents the change in flour volume each day. So in this case, you have a number line. So we're going to start in a 0. Because every morning you have the container of flour. So what we do is we take 22 3/4 cups of flour every morning, and then we replace it with 12 1/4. As you can see, all this is what we needed to get to 0. So you're going to end up with a negative. So this number line shows the sum is negative, which indicates a negative change in volume of flour each day. So the following number line represent the product of 7 times negative 10 and 1/2. It represents the total change in flour volume after 1 week, 7 days. So what happens? 0. Then we change negative 10.5 per day. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, 6, 7. We ended here. So we ended almost in negative 75. Remember that this one was 73, negative 73 and 1/2. So we are just before 75. Okay, so that's the solution. That's using the number line. Now let's do some reflection here. Explain how you could use a number line to check if you correctly calculated the product of negative 1.75 times 4. So 4 is the whole number. So in this case, we are going to begin at 0. Just remember the number line. Remember the number line. So we're going to begin at 0. See here? Begin at 0. Went down because it's negative. Begin at 0. Went to the left because it's negative. So we are going to begin at 0 on the number line. And we're going to jump 4 times in the negative direction. Now, for example, 0 to negative 1.75. Okay? So we went from 0 to negative 1.75. Then from negative 1.75, we went to negative 3.5. And then from negative 3.5, we go to 525. Then, how many times? 1, 2, 3. We need one more jump. So from negative 5.25, we go to negative 7. And that's the solution. So in this case, the ending number of the last jump is the product. Okay, so that will be the solution. So remember, we jump, in this case because it's negative, we jump to the left to the negative numbers. If it were positive, we will jump to the right of the number line. So let's move to 30, lesson 3B, solving multi-step problems with decimals. Now we're going to decimals. Remember that rational numbers are fractions and terminating decimals, and also we had repeating decimals. So in this case, the problem, we're going to read the problem again, and then we're going to answer questions. So in this case, we have Lacey deposits $7.10 into her bank account on Wednesday morning. On Wednesday afternoon, she withdraw $9.40 and $6.20 on Wednesday night. She makes an additional deposit of $8.70. Does Lacey have more money or less money on Thursday morning than she did on Tuesday night? How much more or how much less? So it's a money problem. Okay? So let's picture the amount. The number line shows the change in Lacey's account balance after each transaction. So she went from, in this case, $7.10 and withdrew $9.40. So we ended around negative 2 point something. Then she took $6.20 and withdraw. And then she made the deposit of $8.70. So she ended right here. Okay, I'm not going to say anything because that is just picture the problem. So we don't have to do anything, just read the problem and understand it. Now we're going to model. In this case, we're going to have, you can use equation to help add and subtract decimals. So represent deposit into Lacey's account with additional represent withdrawals with subtraction. So here is the example, and you have it in your book. We're not going to solve it yet. So 7.10 minus 9.4 minus 620 plus 8.70 equals to, we don't know. We know it's going to be positive, and we know it's going to be a little bit after 0. So let's see what's happened. So now we're going to connect all that information. So we move to page number 31. Page 31 of your instruction book. So now you will solve the problem from the previous page. So what we are going to do. What is the total amount of money that Lacey deposited? So we are going to add all the positive numbers. So for example, she got $7.10 plus $8.70. That's what she deposited. So if you add these two, 7 plus 8, 10 plus 70 is $15.80. Okay, done with that. Question number 2. What is the total amount of money that Lacey withdrew? Now we're going to add all the negative numbers. So we're going to have here 940 plus 620. Those are the negative numbers. And this is equals to 15 and 60 cents. So we add the negative numbers. We don't put the negative because we are adding the two negative numbers. We want to know how much. It's when you have the bills, gas bill, water bills, cable bills, cell phone bill. You add those ones, and then with your paycheck, you take it away from your paycheck, that amount. So number 4, explain how you know whether the overall change to Lacey's account will be a gain or loss, and whether the result should be represented as positive or negative. So we're going to figure out if it's positive or negative. So in this case, number 4, we're going to have Lacey deposited. As you can see, she put more money into the account than she withdrew. It's like 20 cents. But still, it's positive. It's not losing money. So in this case, we're going to say Lacey more money than she withdrew. So the overall result will be a gain, which is positive. Okay, so it's going to be positive by 20 cents. Now we're going to do the operation. 7.10 minus 9.40 minus 6.20 plus 8.70 is equals to, in this case, to 0.20. You can see it here. If you put these ones, 15.80 minus 15.60, okay, 0, 8 minus 6 is 2, these two are 0, so you end up with 20 cents. You can also do the operation lining up these numbers with the decimal number the same way you did it in previous year, and you're going to end up with 20 cents. Now, question number 6. Does Lacey have more or less money on Thursday morning than she did on Tuesday night? So the question in this case is, she ended with 20 cents more money. Still a gain. 20 cents is not a loss. So in this case, Lacey has 20 cents more money in her account on Thursday morning because the change in her account was 20 cents. So she ended with more money on Thursday morning because she ended with 20 cents. Okay? So number 7. Let's look at the number line on the previous page. We have a number line on the previous page. I'll show it to you in a minute. Does the model tell you the balance of the Lacey checking account on Thursday morning? Explain. So in this case, let's look at the number line. So here, let's look at. So in this case, I'm going to say no. Okay, the number line does not represent the balance of Lacey's account in this case, and let me type that one. So no in this case, and remember we need to write an explanation. That's what we're doing. The number line does not represent the balance of Lacey's account. It shows the amount she deposited and withdraw. So that's what is showing the table, how much amount you deposited, how much you took away. So in this case, the amount of money in Lacey's account increased by 20 cents, but at the beginning, the balance is not given. So you don't know the balance. Okay, to understand this question, is saying, look at the number line on the previous page. Does the model tells you the balance of Lazy's checking account on Thursday morning? We know we got a 20 cents gain, but they didn't tell us how much money was there previous. It just says the problem that you put $7.10, then you withdrew, and then you deposited again. So we don't know how much money there is in that account. We know by Thursday morning there is only 20 cents gain. Now, you're going to try this one. Use what you just learned and solve this problem. So without finding the actual addition, explain how you know whether 7.5 plus negative 8 plus 2.7 will be positive or negative. So we are going to say, okay, that if you add these two, is greater than negative 8. So I will say 7.5 plus 2.7 is greater than negative 8. Those two are going to be bigger than negative 8. So now they're asking you, what is the addition of those ones? So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to add the positive numbers. So I have 7.5 plus 2.7, and then I have 5 plus 7 is equals to 12. Drop the decimal point. So I have 8 and 10.2. Now I need to subtract 8 minus 8.0. I'm going to add 0.0. So you're going to end it with 2. 10 minus 8 equals to 2. So this is equals to 2.2. And that's the solution. Okay? Or you can do it this way, 7.5 minus 8, which is going to result in a negative number, and then plus 2.7, and you have to end it with 2.2. So this is what I have for today, and that's going to be Monday lesson. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on Monday.